Testing, testing.
Good afternoon and welcome everyone to the Dan Kostel Rec Center in Garfield Heights, Ohio for Greater Cleveland High School Hockey League action today from the Kostel Rec Center. My name is Tim Nichols and you are watching CVCA Royals Hockey, and we're glad to be here today with you. Our guests today are the Brush Arcs from the Blue South Division. The teams have just taken the ice. The arena just opening this morning about a half an hour ago as the teams entered into the facility. It's our pleasure to bring this broadcast to you. For Royals fans that are joining, you know that unfortunately the CVCA home away from home here at the Kostel Rec Center does not allow spectators in attendance. Therefore, we put together these live streams for you. The Royals' normal home arena is down in Kent at the Kent State University Ice Arena, but due to COVID-19 this year, the Royals had to look for a new home as the Kent State University Ice Arena closed about 1 week prior to the regular season. So in a scramble, the Royals and the Kostel Rec Center came together and made this the home away from home for CVCA for the 2020-21 season, but the city of Garfield Heights has a limit on spectators and exclusion on spectators, unfortunately. So it's a limited audience in the arena. That audience is made up of those that are volunteering to run the music, the scorebook, the scoreboard, etc. And yours truly. I am assisted today by Sean Mosher on camera, and he's pushing the buttons and making things happen so that you can see what we see today. And I'll hope to be your eyes and ears during this afternoon's contest. The pregame clock has started. It's winding down, 8 minutes and 40 seconds. Again, with the players only able to enter the facility a half an hour beforehand. The scheduled start time for the event was 12 noon, but really that has, as we've learned over the course of the last week or so, that means that's the time the players can actually get on the ice. So it'll be about 10 to 15 minutes total before we get started with this contest today. So looking at the clock, we're looking at about probably 12 or 13 minutes past the hour when the puck will drop and this game will get started this afternoon. This is the first meeting between CVCA and Brush in 11 years. CVCA and Brush came together today in a pandemic-induced matchup in a game that was scheduled just 3 days ago, but it's been in the works for a couple of weeks. CVCA was scheduled to play Mayfield this afternoon, but the Wildcats hockey program was put on hold this week when a couple of Mayfield players tested positive for COVID-19. And into that void jumped the Arcs from Brush for a matchup between a team from the Blue North Division in CVCA and the Blue South Division of the Greater Cleveland High School Hockey League. The Royals are coming off the CVCA Christmas tournament held here at the Dan Kostel Rec Center this past week on Tuesday and on Wednesday. And in that tournament, the Royals went 1-3, a win and 3 losses in their own tournament. They defeated Lakewood in the opening game of the round-robin format. That win was retribution, or a big turnaround from a game that happened just 10 days prior at Winterhurst Arena on December the 18th. It may have been the 19th. I'll have to check my facts on that one, but we do know factually that the Royals lost the initial matchup with Lakewood 11-3. However, on Tuesday morning, the teams came out in an 11 a.m. match, and CVCA put the pressure on Lakewood early and often, and junior forward Luke Parada led the Royals with 4 goals en route to a 6-4 victory against Lakewood on Tuesday. Also in the tournament this past week were the Normandy Invaders and the Orange Lions. Lakewood and Normandy out of the Blue North Division, and Orange moving up from the Blue North into the White South this year after being the Barron Cup champions a year ago in the Blue Division. The Royals played round-robin games against Normandy. Close contest on Tuesday afternoon late. It was decided by an empty net goal at the end. Normandy ultimately prevailed 5-3. It was the second meeting between CVCA and Normandy this year. The Royals did play one home game in December at Barron's Bus Arena in Cleveland, Ohio. That was the only game this season where the Royals expect to have any spectators at home games, so it was also senior night. It was a night where the Royals and Invaders also played late in the game, a 1-goal contest that was also decided on an empty net goal. In that game, back in mid-December, the Invaders prevailed 4-2 on the backs of that empty netter with less than 10 seconds to go. So the Royals have played a couple of Blue North teams very tough. The next morning, this week, in day 2 of the CVCA Christmas tournament, the Royals and Orange Lions met up. Orange had been off due to a COVID-19 hiatus for about a month. They played their first game against Normandy on Tuesday morning. Were a little sluggish. The rust was evident, but they knocked off that rust by Tuesday afternoon, and when the Royals and Orange Lions met on Wednesday morning, it was a tight contest. The Royals actually led it 2-1 until late in the second period when the Orange Lions got a power play goal to tie it with less than a minute to go in the second period, and then Orange scored a minute and a half into the third period. That goal held up the Lions 3, the Royals 2, and again the Royals down to defeat by a 1-goal margin, in this case to a team that is now playing in the White North Division. On Tuesday afternoon, ultimately in the third place game of the tournament, the Royals lengthened the bench. It was a rematch against Lakewood, but the Royals have 11 freshmen and sophomores in their roster and their lineup, and many of those freshmen and sophomores got to play in the afternoon contest. 4 games in the matter of about 26 hours is a tough task for anyone, despite the young age of these CVCA hockey players. And with the bench lengthened, a lot of the newer players and first-year players got in. Ultimately, that contest was decided in favor of Lakewood by a score of 8-1. You may have seen it 7-1. That was an error on the part of yours truly, with maybe some cold fingers after about 16 hours of hockey, but Lakewood did score 8 times in that game to defeat CVCA 8-1. So the Royals went 1-3 in their tournament. And here we are Saturday afternoon in a scheduled game that was just put together on Wednesday with Brush in the building. The Arcs replacing a game originally scheduled between CVCA and Matefield. Brush has been idle since the Bay Christmas tournament on December 20th. That's a tournament in which the Arcs played 3 games, and they fell short in all 3, matching up against Elyria Catholic, Brecksville, Broadview Heights, and the host team in that tournament, Bay Village, all teams from the Blue South division of the Greater Cleveland High School Hockey League, which is also the division that the Arcs play in. It was the first action of the season for Brush after their season was delayed due to athletic restrictions related to the COVID-19 pandemic in the South Euclid Lyndhurst School District. We mentioned that Wednesday afternoon's game against Lakewood was a game in which a bunch of the younger Royals got in the game. Today's game is expected to feature most of those players, the younger Royals, as the coaches of the 2 schools began talking several weeks ago. That is the coach of CVCA, Doug Fairchild, and the coach of the Brush Arcs, Brian Shivershesky, who's in his first year behind the bench for the Arcs. They started talking a couple of weeks ago about trying to put a game together between the 2 teams to allow Brush and some of CVCA's younger players to have a competitive option. So that is what we're going to see today. The Royals' traditional first and second lines feature a number of players that remain from the Blue Division Barron Cup champion team 2 years ago, but the roster is lengthy, which is good for development and for depth. But in games against Orange and Normandy and others like that CVCA has normally on the schedule, many of those players do not get a great deal of ice time. We expect to see the bench lengthen significantly today against the Arcs. In goal today is expected to be sophomore goaltender Karsten Hauk, who should get the start. Hauk was pressed into action in the opening game of the season when 4-year starter JT Nichols was recovering from a football season injury. And in his first action on the ice at any level, and only his 3rd time on ice in his lifetime, Hauk earned the victory in a high-scoring affair against the Nordonia Knights. That game finished 13-10. No truth to the fact that the Royals may have kicked a game-ending field goal to win the game. Lots of goals, 23 in all in that game against Nordonia in Game 1 back in November. Hauk has one other start this season in the final game of the Bruce Anderson tournament against Toledo Whitmer, another high-scoring affair in which the Royals dropped that one by a score of 10-9. Earlier this week, Hauk appeared in the 3rd period of CVCA's game against Lakewood, an 8-1 loss that we talked about a moment ago. But that game was highlighted by Hauk facing the first penalty shot of his career, and he escaped the penalty shot unscathed when Rangers freshman Cam Crouch missed the net. CVCA has 10 other freshmen and sophomores on the roster, but only one of them has ever scored a goal. Freshman forward Morgan Joy made history against Nordonia in the 2nd game of the season against the Knights when she scored the first goal of the game. That game on December the 13th, it made history for CVCA, the first goal in history for a female athlete playing hockey at CVCA. Sophomore defenseman Mark Mosher and Zach Nichols have seen lots of ice time since they joined the Royals a year ago, but neither yet has lit the lamp. Both Mosher and Nichols were forced into duty as freshmen, perhaps before they were truly ready, when CVCA competed in the White South Division a year ago. Mosher comes out of the Strongsville Youth Program, while Nichols logged time for both Geauga and Kent before arriving at CVCA. Freshman defenseman Josh Petchke and Matthew Porter have also logged time this season, and you'll see more of them today. This matchup should also be a real opportunity for players like forward Tyler Young and Harrison Koselik, both in their first season on the ice, and look for sophomore David Krieger to see opportunity as well. A newcomer to hockey a year ago, his ice time was limited when CVCA was in the White South, and he's worked hard in the weight room to get stronger on the ice and improve his game. And finally, look for freshman Alex Frazier and also Chloe Polanski to see some time this afternoon. Frazier is following in the footsteps of Polanski, who made history a year ago as the first female to skate for the Royals. The clock is wound down. 15 minutes is up on the clock, and we're about ready to see the starting lineups for both teams announced. For the Arcs, in goal, number 30, Sean Miller. Miller made 94 saves in the Bay tournament. Isaac Alexander also getting the start at forward. Alexander has a pair of assists to his record this season. Seth Martin on defense, the senior, gets the start today for the Brush Arcs. Ben Heideck, a sophomore forward. He's the leading scorer for the Arcs, 5 goals in that tournament at Bay. Number 22, Aiden Weiss. Check that, Aiden Weiss, a goal and assist to his credit. And also starting today, number 7, Cameron Stovall, a junior. The Arcs will dress 10 players today. For the Royals, in goal, as we mentioned, number 1, sophomore Karsten Hauk. Starting on defense, freshman defenseman Josh Petchke. Zach Nichols gets a start, the sophomore, on defense. Second-year player, sophomore David Krieger will start. Chloe Polanski, who made history as the first CVCA female hockey player, gets her first start this afternoon. Polanski, a sophomore. And Matthew Porter, freshman. The younger brother of assistant captain Sam Porter gets his first start for CVCA today. And now we're going to pause and honor America for the playing of our national anthem. And the national anthem is complete. The teams head to their respective benches for some final words of encouragement from head coaches. We mentioned the Brush starting lineup as they were announced, but featuring Brush, they are a young team, the Arcs, but look for them to rely on sophomore forward Ben Heideck. He wears jersey number 11. Heideck had 5 goals and an assist in the tournament in Bay. He should be a scoring threat this afternoon for the Brush Arcs. David Williams and Adam Weiss also had goals in that tournament. And we met Sean Miller, goaltender for Brush, who recorded 94 saves in the 3 games in the Bay tournament. However, the defense is young, a bit porous. The Arcs gave up 33 goals in those 3 games. But frankly, we expect a lot of goals today between these two teams. The Arcs are coached by first-year head coach Brian Shivershevsky. It is the 18th season of hockey for the Brush Arcs program, and it's great to see CVCA and Brush back together for the first time in 11 years for this afternoon's contest. The Royals are coached by head coach Doug Fairchild. It's his 14th season behind the bench for CVCA. Turtle, Mark Brower, and Jonathan Beckett. All time in the series between the two teams, the Royals hold a 7-0 advantage. The first game between the two teams was back in the 2007-2008 season. The Royals registered a 5-1 victory in that contest way back on December 1st, 2007. The last game between the two teams happened on January 22nd, 2010. That game also in Kent, the Royals won 10-0. We're underway from the Dan Kostel Rec Center, high school hockey on a Saturday afternoon, and the Royals and the Arcs have it. Zach Nichols for CVCA pushes it into the offensive zone, but it's checked out by Heideck into the neutral zone, pushed back in, and the Arcs will try and control. A shot in, deflects on goaltender Miller. Another shot coming his way. Third shot, and Miller jumps down on it for a stoppage. We've reached our first stoppage of the afternoon, just 30 seconds into the contest. There'll be a face-off to the right of the junior goaltender for the Arcs. Taking the face-off for CVCA is freshman Matthew Porter. Face-off is controlled into the near corner by the Arcs. Around the boards, far side, up and out down the ice, and it will be just on goal, and Houck plays it, so icing is waved off. Back with it is Zach Nichols for the Royals. Nichols up ice, tries to find Porter, connects, and now near side. With it is 15 for CVCA. That's Tyler Young getting a shift. Puck is knocked out of the zone. Peschke tries to knock it back in, works on it, gets a second time, delayed offside, and the Royals will reset. The Arcs send it down the ice, and this is going to be icing against Brush. So they'll retrieve the puck. 1 minute and 5 seconds gone in the contest. The Royals get a change. Alex Frazier out, as is Chloe Polanski once again. This face-off is pushed toward the goal and then back out to the left point. Peschke has it. Peschke fires on goal. It doesn't get there. Rebound is tapped out, and here comes Heideck. Heideck across the red line into the offensive zone, shoots, and Houck with his first save of the game. Puck drops down and is swiped aside into the near corner. Pushed up by CVCA, but not out. Battling for it was David Krieger. In for Brush to pressure with Seth Martin. The puck is pushed out, back into the neutral zone where Heideck will corral for the Arcs. Turns and back across the red line. Evades a couple of defenders. Arc to his right. Cross ice pass intercepted by Nichols, and Nichols will move up the ice for CVCA. Nichols with some speed, looks, and the puck is swept away to the near boards. Nichols tries to retrieve, falls down, and it's knocked up and out where Peschke will play center field for CVCA and knock the puck back in. But doesn't get it in deep. It's intercepted by Brush, and again, out with it comes number 9. That is Isaac Alexander. Alexander fires wide of the net of Houck. Pushing it back toward the net, and behind the net is Adam Weiss. Centering pass, looking for 7. That was Cameron Stovall. Found Stovall's stick, but pushed wide, and the Royals will push it on out. Zach Nichols pushes it in. He's got Matthew Porter on the far side. Porter stops, looks, tries to center, turns it over, and back out come the Arcs. They get it out of the zone. We're back to get it is Mark Mosher. Mosher knocks it up the ice. It finds the skate of number 22, Isaac Weiss, as he was going off the ice. Now he gets onto the bench, and the puck is pushed down where CVCA will recover. Nichols has it. Nichols up ice, tries to pass and make a connection, misses the target, and it's into the zone for the Arcs, who try and bring it back up, and they do. With it is Isaac Alexander. He pushes it deep. Alexander goes back after it. Near side boards. Up and fired wide of the goal by number 7, Stovall. That puck is swiped down the ice, and it will be icing on CVCA. We've reached the stoppage. 11 minutes, 45 seconds to go. First period action between the Brush Arcs and the CVCA Royals. No score. Face off to the left of Karsten Houck. Heideck will take it for the Arcs. Puck is dropped down and pushed toward the goal. Rebound shot still loose in front of the net, and Houck will cover. A save for the sophomore goaltender from CVCA. This time the referees will move to the far face-off circle, and dot. The face-off will be to the right of Karsten Houck. Puck squirts high. Shot is wide of the net by Seth Martin. Centering pass just up and over the stick of Alana Silverman. Pushed back in deep, and back to get it is Mosher for CVCA. Mosher pushes it up ice, tries to find Polanski. Instead, he finds one of the brush arcs, and a glove save on the shot from the left point for Karsten Hauk. Stops play at 11:16 to go in the first period. Porter, Tyler Young, Harrison Koselik all out there for CVCA along with Petchke. And in the back, it looks like it may be Mosher. Face-off this time is controlled by CVCA after a deflection. Mosher has it, goes to the far corner, pushes it up ice. Still not out, knocked back in deep. Centering attempt, deflected and makes its way toward the goal before it's swept out, but kicked in and kept in by number 9, Alexander. But here comes CVCA's Matthew Porter on a rush. Porter fires wide, sticked aside by the goaltender Miller. The Royals up to the left point. Petchke has it. Stick handles into the circle, fires, and saved by Miller. Nice job by the junior goaltender there for the Arcs. Face off to his right. Krieger will step in for CVCA and take this one. It's a scramble for this one. It's controlled up toward the top, but kept in by CVCA. And now pushed out. Heideck has it. Top scorer for the Arcs skates to his right, into the far corner, being pressured by Petchke. Petchke still battling. Now near side, Heideck tries to pass to himself. He gets it up ice to number 7. That's Stovall. Shot is blocked in front of the net by Mosher. Mosher up ice. He finds Alex Frazier, who gets leveled, and it's pushed back in. Frazier goes and retrieves her stick. Mosher retrieves the puck for CVCA. Pushed up, but intercepted, and Heideck, a backhanded shot, goes wide of Karsten Hauk. Mosher sweeps it up for CVCA. Point blank shot for the Arcs is covered by Mosher. Heideck was right there, jumping on that loose puck in front of the CVCA goal and tried to put the Arcs up 1-0, but Hauk was there to stop him and make the save. Offensive zone face-off for Brush. Puck is dropped down, and CVCA controls and trying to skate out with it. And they do into the neutral zone. Heideck there. Recovers and pushes it in deep, or at least he tries to, but it hits the bar where the boards are and the glass is lower, right by the CVCA bench. Out of play, and scrambling to get out of the way of that puck was CVCA assistant coach Rich Hurdle. So the referees bring the face-off outside the neutral zone. It's controlled by the Royals and pushed back into the offensive zone by Matthew Porter. Icing is waved off. Back to get it is number 9, Isaac Alexander, who pushes it around near side boards. Up to the top point, Zach Nichols' slap shot is knocked down, and now a chance for the Arcs. Heideck has some wheels, pushes center, and it is pushed off the puck by Nichols. Nice play by Nichols, who gave up the puck at the blue line, getting back there on defense. To the neutral zone it comes, and intercepted by CVCA. Matthew Porter stepped into the zone, but not before a fellow teammate, that's number 17, Harrison Koselik on the far side, could get back on side, so a stoppage with an offside call. Face-off on the near face-off dot right outside the CVCA zone. Royals 0, Arcs 0. First period action. A scramble for the puck in the neutral zone. Now pushed in by Frazier. Check that, it was Polanski to Frazier. But out with it comes one of the Brush Arcs. A long shot from the blue line is wide. That shot was by number 3, Seth Martin. It's centered, doesn't get to the goal. Mosher, far side, finds Frazier. Frazier skates it out. Alex Frazier is pushed aside and taken off her skates by number 22, that's Aiden Wise. Now Zach Nichols skates in, fires, and a save. Rebound is out and pushed up and out, where Nichols will chase and retrieve for CVCA. Nichols to Mosher, far side. Mosher skates up through the neutral zone. 2 arcs are there to meet him. And the puck skates in, and rather the puck doesn't skate in. The puck wiggles out, where the Arcs have a rush. Heideck is dispossessed, but still in the zone is number 3, Seth Martin. He centers to Heideck, and Karsten Hauk covers. As a nice play right there by Seth Martin, getting the puck to the center in front of the net, where Heideck tried to poke it in. Hauk was there on the save. Heideck and Porter face off to the right of Karsten Hauk. Porter pushes it up high, not out, controlled at the left point, and dumped in deep by Isaac Alexander. Number 9 for the Arcs to number 9 for CVCA, and back to number 9 for the Arcs. Shot on goal, far side, swept away as a shot was in there by Nichols. 15 for CVCA, pushes it in deep. That is Tyler Young. He will earn. He pushed that puck just before he got to the red line. And it goes across the end line for an icing, and they'll retrieve it and bring it all the way back down into the CVCA defensive zone. 7 minutes, 30 seconds to go here in the first period. We're exactly halfway through this first period of action. Still no score. Rush controls, shot wide by Martin. Mark Mosher comes up with it with CVCA, and Mosher overskates the puck. It's pushed back into the defensive zone for CVCA, where Josh Petchke is back to retrieve. Petchke has it. Will set up behind his net. Push up ice. He finds Polanski, but Polanski can't control. It's pushed up and out by Petchke, who came behind her. And with it is Isaac Alexander. Flips it high. Heideck finds it on his stick. He wasn't expecting it. And the Royals' Petchke will bring it on out. 3-on-2 if they hurry. Petchke has it, left side. He's got Krieger, tries to find him with a centering pass, which is knocked down. And now Martin comes forward. Martin with some speed, past the speedy Mark Mosher himself. Mosher makes up that space and recaptures the puck. But it's turned over. Shot is wide by Alexander. Far side now, controlled by 22. That's Aiden Wise. Pushed it far and deep into the near corner. Over to get it is number 7, Cameron Stovall. Stovall, right point, finds Alexander, who fires. It's kicked aside by Krieger, and Mosher will retrieve behind his net. Mosher tries to stick handle. Shot as it's turned over. Saved by Hauk. Second shot is knocked down, and Polanski tries to get it up, but not out. Shot again, knocked away, and Polanski with it now across the red line, but cannot control, and it's pushed out of harm's way all the way down the ice. Icing is waved off, and Petchke and Heideck will chase. Heideck gets it first, tries a stick handle, or Petchke pokes it away. Fanning on it is 7, that's Cameron Stovall, but he gets it back, fires it toward the net, through the crease into the far corner, where it sits, and Heideck will get there first. Heideck battles Porter. Far corner, Petchke puts it up ice to the left point, where it's kept in and fired, where Hauk gets it, sweeps it aside to the near side. Zach Nichols after it for CVCA. Nichols tries to start the rush up the ice. Here he comes, 2-on-1 for CVCA. Zach Nichols to his left, shoots wide of the net for the Royals defenseman. Push back in deep, and now controlled by the Arcs. Back to the neutral zone they come. Number 3, Martin, leaves it for a teammate as he's going across the blue line, so the Arcs have to get back on side. They do, but Nichols comes up with it for the Royals. Through center ice comes the CVCA sophomore. Skates to his left, looking, centers, no one there. Petchke comes to keep it in the zone. He does. Petchke on the right point, fires on goal, tipped aside by number 3, that's Martin. Behind the net, kept in by Nichols. Nichols looks, steps up, slap shot, fires. A glove save by Martin, drops down in front of him. The Royals tried to get there on the rebound, but could not. It's swept down the ice by the Arcs. And an icing call. Nice shot attempt by Zach Nichols. Nicer save by the goaltender for the Brush Arcs, junior Sean Martin. Stoppage, 4:27 to go in the first period. No score. After the icing, the face-off will be to the right of the junior goaltender, Sean Martin. Krieger will take it against Heideck. This one is controlled for a moment and then swept away. Heideck comes out with it. He's poke checked away by Nichols. Nichols, who jumps on it, skates to his left. Krieger comes to try and keep it in, pushes it ahead. He's got Polanski on the near boards. Polanski has it, tries to center. Krieger dumps it behind the net. The Arcs try and clear it. It sits tantalizingly out in front of the Brush Arcs goal, where one of the Arcs sweeps it away down the ice and clears it for another icing call with 4 minutes exactly to go here in the first period from the Dan Kostel Rec Center in Garfield Heights, Ohio. Another face-off to the right of Miller. This one is pushed to the high slot. Mosher fires high over the net, off the glass. And another clearance. It hits the referee actually and drops down in center neutral zone, where the Royals push it in deep. They wave off the icing. Isaac Alexander controls, pushes it high, and Alexander back to Mosher. 9-9 once again. Mosher waits, pushes it forward, and again icing is waved off. So 9-9, playing catch back and forth to each other. The Arcs clear. Mosher has it. The Royals waiting to get onside. Mosher has to wait for Krieger to get out of the zone. Swept to Petchke. Petchke now will take it in, pushing it forward, but cannot control as it gets into the zone. It's pushed back out. So Mosher once again. 3 minutes, 9 seconds to go. Mosher pushes it up, looking for Frazier. Frazier's got it. Now she's onside, fires, and it is glove save by Miller. Alex Frazier played her youth hockey with the Geauga Maple Leafs. She and Zach Nichols were teammates for a season before both ended up at CVCA. Face off to the left of Miller this time, and in to take it is Matthew Porter. Puck is dropped. Porter. Shot fired. Nice save by Miller. It looked like 15. Tyler Young fired that one. Now it's up high. Mosher fires on goal, and he scores! The Royals are on the board first. The congratulations going to Mark Mosher, the sophomore for CVCA. Did not look like it was deflected, and if that does go to Mosher officially, it'll be his first career goal for the sophomore who comes out of the Strongsville program for the Royals. Time of that goal, 12 minutes and 13 seconds of the first period. And Mosher on the goal, the assist going to number 17, Harrison Koselik for the Royals, putting them up 1-0 here. And we're back underway into the offensive zone. Heideck gets it pushed far side deep. Far side board 17 for CVCA is Koselik. Now it's swept to the near side. After it is number 7, Cameron Stovall. Stovall tries to center. He's dispossessed by one of the Royals. High point fired in, and a blocker save by the goaltender Karsten Hauk. Royals trying to clear it, still cannot. Fired in once again from the point, and Hauk with a glove save with 2 minutes and 12 seconds to go here in the first period. Royals 1, Arcs 0, behind the first career goal for CVCA's Mark Mosher. This time the face-off will be to the left of Karsten Hauk. Taking it is Stovall. It's tipped up and out for the Royals, and we'll see if it will be on goal. Miller does have to play it, so no icing. Back to get it is Isaac Alexander for the Brush Arcs. Alexander pokes it near side. Turnover. David Krieger tries to get it. It's pushed up to the point where Josh Petchke keeps it in on the right point, pushes it in deep, but not behind the end line. The Arcs try and flick it out, and they do. Zach Nichols tries to glove it down, but now it's pushed into the zone. Heideck had a chance for a moment, but in there for the Royals was number 3, Josh Petchke, who takes it all the way down the ice into the near corner. He's battered by Alexander rather. It's chance there in front of the goal for Chloe Polanski. She's knocked down behind the goal. Krieger battles Alexander. The puck slips far side, and out with it comes number 22, Weiss. Delayed offsides for CVCA, and it's poked all the way down the ice and cleared for an icing with 1 minute and 12 seconds to go. First period action, Royals 1 and the Brush Arcs nothing. Royals getting a change. Face-off will be to the left of Miller. Matthew Porter will take it for CVCA. Puck is dropped down, swept up but not out, kept in for just a moment, and in again. Nice job by Mosher, the goal scorer. This time the Arcs clear, and Mosher will retrieve. He's got Nichols and passes D to him. Zach Nichols moves up ice. Shot is deflected by one of the Arcs as Nichols pounded that puck in deep. Back after it is number 15 for CVCA. That's Tyler Young. Young gets some help from Porter. Porter up to Nichols. Left point. Nichols skates. Can't get around one of the Arc defenders. And it's poked out where Mosher comes in to sweep it up. 36 seconds to go. First period. Mosher with some wheels into the offensive zone. Fires. And that one is pushed aside. Nice stick save by Sean Miller. CVCA controls for just a moment. And then it's kicked aside by number 7. Cameron Stovall back to neutral ice and kicked back in by CVCA, or pushed back in rather, with 15 seconds to go. The Royals pressuring, but the Arcs able to clear, and that should just about do it. 8 seconds left as Mosher retrieves behind his own goal. 4 seconds left, 3, 2, 1. Turnover, Heideck with a chance, but he can't get a shot off before the horn sounds to end the first period. We've reached the end of one from the Dan Kostel Rec Center. Heideck bangs that stick down. He knew he had a 1-on-1 opportunity, but time ran out on him and the Brush Arcs. The score at the end of the first period, the CVCA Royals 1 and the Brush Arcs nothing. Shots on goal in that first period. Brush had 19 shots. Is that right? 19. And CVCA with 14. The lone goal of the first period scored by CVCA's Mark Mosher at 12 minutes and 13 seconds of the first period. The assist to number 17, Harrison Koselik. Face-offs, one is even at 6 face-offs apiece. So as we reach the first intermission today, 10 minutes has already been put up on the clock. The intermission period's 10 minutes long. Clock winding down already to 9 minutes and 14 seconds. The Zamboni enters the ice here at the Kostel Rec Center. We mentioned during the pregame that earlier this week was the CVCA Christmas Tournament. 8 games in 2 days, and we've gone back old school. Old school for us, but new school for many. My trusty sidekick, Sean Mosher, making sure all the pictures come to you today, doing a great job on camera and on the engineering and production of today's contest. We were absolutely blessed and pleased to have MediaNet AV and the folks from there help us produce the CVCA Christmas Tournament with full-on instant replay, slow motion, scoreboards, and graphics on Tuesday and Wednesday. Again, with no fans allowed to be in attendance here at the Kostel Rec Center. We certainly tried to make it a good experience, as best viewing experience as possible for you, the viewers. And those of you from CVCA who were able to tune in, hopefully enjoyed the production earlier this week. It was an outstanding tournament. Bunches and bunches of close games. We mentioned before the Royals did go 1-3, but a couple of really close losses to Normandy and to Orange before the game on Tuesday afternoon in the third place game against Lakewood. The other teams involved in the tournament were obviously the Lakewood Rangers, the Orange Lions, and the Normandy Invaders. The Lions were coming off a month-long hiatus, and in that first matchup in the 8 a.m. game on Tuesday morning, the rust did show, and Normandy took it to them. 41 shots on goal, I believe, if I remember correctly, by the Invaders, and the result was a 4-1 victory in what was a rematch of the 2020 Barron Cup Blue Division Final. The Lions, the Barron Cup champions of a year ago, and we can say that now that we have reached 2021, a milestone for which I'm sure all of us are thankful, having 2020 in the rearview mirror. But the Lions, before the COVID pandemic, were able to celebrate in Brooklyn last winter in February and raise the Barron Cup trophy. Normandy got the better of them in that opening matchup. We mentioned the Royals won their first game against Lakewood in the first day morning session. In the afternoon, the Orange Lions and Lakewood Rangers matched up, and the Lions came from behind in that one to notch their first victory in over a month. Outdistancing the Rangers, I believe the final score was perhaps 5-3, but don't quote me on that one, but I do know it was a 2-goal game. The Rangers left day one from Lakewood with a pair of losses, a pair of close losses after playing really good hockey, frankly, for the Lakewood squad. They came back with a vengeance in day two, did the Lakewood Rangers. Normandy defeated CVCA 4-2 in the afternoon game, the late game on Tuesday, and by virtue of 2 victories on day one and 6 points in the tournament, notched their slot in the championship game before day two was even underway. So the first game on Wednesday morning matched CVCA and Orange up, both teams with a victory on Tuesday afternoon. So it was a game in which the winner would advance to the championship final. Orange scored first in the first period, but the Royals tied it up late in that first stanza on a power play goal. Gabe Dearden, the senior captain for CVCA, put the Royals up midway through the second period on a shorthanded blast from the blue line that beat the Orange goaltender, Danny Moore. The Royals were up 2-1 against the talented Orange squad. Orange did get a power play goal in the last minute of the second period, and they went to the break tied at 2-2. Third period action saw Orange score. Jason Kornbluth, their talented senior captain, a minute and a half into the period, and it stood up, advancing Orange to the final. And what a final it was on Tuesday afternoon here at the Kostel Rec Center. The Lions led 1-0 after one period of play, but the Invaders never quit. Normandy, if you get a chance to see them, has a very short bench. They skate only 9 skaters plus a goaltender, but 9 very talented skaters. They tied the game up less than a minute into the second period at 1-1, and it stayed that way until Orange retook the lead. With about 6 minutes to go, the score was 2-1, but only for a few moments. Normandy retied it up, and then in the last 1 minute and 12 seconds of the second period, 4 goals were scored. And they went to the break at the end of the second period, 4-3. Orange took the lead 3-2. 30 seconds later, the Invaders tied it up with just 16 seconds to go in that second period, but that lasted only 8 seconds as Zach McCarron from the Orange Lions took the face-off, got one pass to him, and beat the goaltender to give the Lions a 4-3 lead. They tacked on 2 more in the third period as the legs finally went away, with 4 games in less than 20, we'll call it less than 30 hours for the Normandy Invaders. And the Lions walked away, or rather skated away, with the 2020 CVCA Christmas Tournament Championship. 2 days of full-on hockey ended with the Lions raising the plaque and trophy and supplanting the Kent Rough Riders as the new champions. Kent, the champions back in 2019. We're at the first intermission with about 2.5 minutes to go before we resume action here in the Kostel Rec Center. The score is CVCA 1 and the Brush Arcs nothing. The Royals and Arcs coming together for the first time in 11 years. And the difference in this game so far is a goal off the stick of sophomore defenseman for CVCA, Mark Mosher, his first of his career. Mosher fired from the blue line just inside of it, and he beat Sean Miller. And that's where we stand right now, 1-0. We hope you're enjoying coverage of CVCA hockey between CVCA and Brush today. This game being available to you on the Boxcast platform. Also being simulcast on CVCA Athletics Facebook page and the CVCA Boosters YouTube page. So 3 different ways for you to access today's coverage. For all information on CVCA Athletics, we encourage you to visit that CVCA Athletics Facebook page. Keep you up to date on all the CVCA sporting activities. For more information on Cuyahoga Valley Christian Academy, if you're interested in learning more about the school, you can certainly head on over to www.cvcaroyals.org. You can learn about opportunities to find out more about the school, both in person and virtually. The semester break about to end with school set to resume on Monday, and that is in-person school. Very fortunate to have CVCA able to keep school in session in person for the majority of the first semester. Students have been on break for a couple of weeks, actually 3 weeks, I believe, and so school will resume on Monday. Virtual options are available for those who prefer that option as well, but certainly that in-class component has been a key to keeping things as normal as possible during a period that is anything but normal here in 2020 and now in 2021. Clock winds down to 0, 15 minutes put back on the clock, and the period moved forward to period number 2. The Royals make their way back onto the ice. Karsten Hauk leads them out, the sophomore goaltender, and he'll head down to the goal to our far left. He passes his counterpart, Sean Miller, the junior, for the Brush Arcs. And second period action here from the Kostel Rec Center means the long change for both teams. During the championship game of the Christmas tournament on Wednesday afternoon, we were joined during the second period by CVCA head coach Doug Fairchild, and we talked about that long change. The gates, or the gates for the benches here at the Kostel Rec Center, are inside the blue lines, and so if you've got to get back to the bench and you're playing defense, or especially when you're defending a power play opportunity, it can be a long skate, and so you've got to be careful in those instances. We don't have to be careful right now because we're ready for second period action. They look toward Hauk and now check on Miller. Both goalies say they're ready. The puck is dropped and we're back underway. The Arcs going right to left, centering to Heideck, off his stick, and Zach Nichols comes up with it. It's a 3-on-1. Zach Nichols to his right, goes to his knees, now into the corner, back up. Nichols centering pass, and it's knocked away by one of the Arcs right there. It was number 3, Seth Martin, who's got some wheels. Martin on the other direction fires just wide of Karsten Hauk, and we have a stoppage, and we may have our first penalty of the game. Or do we? Not quite sure why the stoppage happened, and they'll face it off to the right of Karsten Hauk. Controlled by Heideck. Heideck circles, fires above Hauk's net and into the far corner where it's retrieved by Cameron Stovall. Now the puck in the near corner. Centering pass to Heideck. He was behind the net, tries to lacrosse stick it into the goal, had that puck up on his stick and tried to beat Hauk, it may have got some of the iron. Fancy play by Ben Heidak, the sophomore. Big check by David Krieger. And Chloe Polanski tries to dispossess Heidak, but he comes up with it. Heidak skates in, fires high once again, not on target. Heidak retrieves his own shot, now gets it near side, kicked back in by Aiden Weiss before Nichols comes out with it once again. Nichols by himself, 1-on-2, fires and just misses the target near side. Controlled back in, or was pushed back in for a moment by Alex Frazier before it's pushed down the ice, and Josh Petchke is back to get it for the Royals. Early second period action, 1-0 CVCA. Petchke waits for a change to happen. The Royals get some new legs on the ice. Petchke pushes it up. Battling for it is number 15, that's Tyler Young. Young now still in the neutral zone, pushes it forward. And the puck is poked into the offensive zone by Matthew Porter, who dispossesses of Marsh Ark. Porter drives, shoots just wide, missed the net. And now Heidak, back checked by Porter. Porter with it again, back into the offensive zone. Porter gets hit. A stick goes flying for one of the Arcs. Porter still behind the net. Pushes it up high. A shot just kicked aside by Sean Miller. That was a shot by Petchke. Porter back on it with his stick. Pushed up high once again. And Zach Nichols skates right past the puck. Took his eye off it. Heidak comes up with it. Heidak being poked by Nichols. Backhand shot. And Karsten Hauk is there for the save. A frenetic first 2.5 minutes of the second period. We've reached the first stoppage with 12 minutes and 26 seconds to go. Royals 1, Arcs nothing. Heidak tries to play that with a high stick. It's far side. A battle ensues. Mark Mosher's out there. Mosher backhands it up the ice, and they wave off the icing. All the way down behind Sean Miller, the goaltender for the Brush Arcs. And back to get it is Seth Martin. Martin taps it up ice to Isaac Alexander. Cross ice, he finds number 7. That's Cameron Stovall, who's onside, but poke checked and out of the zone. Back in, almost in, but Heidak is patient, waits for his teammates to come back onside. Pokes it into the near corner where Mark Mosher has it. Pushes it up the boards, but not out. Kept in by Stovall. Check that by Martin, who pushes it wide. Heidak is there with a shot on Hauk, who stones him and keeps the score 1-0. Back up high into the high slot. Shot is fired and rebound. Put in the net by Ben Heidak to tie the game at 1-1. The shot was pushed in by Seth Martin. Hauk made the first save, but Heidak was there right on the crease and scores to tie the game. His 6th goal of the season for number 11, the sophomore, Ben Heidak. The assist goes to number 3, Seth Martin, and it's a new ball game, back to even. Ball game, hockey game. I keep saying to my friends I should get fined every time I call a hockey game a ball game. Here's another chance for Heidak. Heidak skates in and he scores again. The Arcs take the lead, 2-1. We mentioned that Ben Heidak was the key goal scorer that the Royals' young freshmen and sophomores would have to account for. They did a good job in the first period, but they've had a couple of defensive lapses here in the last 30 seconds. And the Royals now will play from behind as Ben Heidak has put the Arcs back up, are on top for the first time today. He finds it on his stick again, but this time it's pushed out by number 15 for CVCA, Tyler Young, before the Arcs push it all the way back in, and Petchke has to retrieve. Petchke looks for a teammate. Now cross ice, finds Harrison Koselleck, but he's dispossessed by number 9, Isaac Alexander, before the Royals defenseman cleans it up, sends it down the ice. Icing is waved off, and back to get it is Seth Martin. Pushed up high, finds Mark Mosher. Mosher, the goal scorer for CVCA, pushes up ice, but he's Matthew Porter gets it his way, and it's intercepted by one of the Brush Arcs, who skates down the ice before he is pushed aside, and Mosher comes back with it. Mosher with some speed into the offensive zone. Shoots, but it's knocked aside by Alexander, and all the way back out where Josh Petchke has to chase after it. He'll retrieve behind his own end line. Ben Heideck, 2 goals in a matter of seconds here in the second period, and the Arcs lead at 2-1. Here comes Frazier, fires wide. David Krieger pushes it back in deep, chases the puck himself, gets it, centers, but intercepted. With some speed comes Seth Martin through the neutral zone. Martin fires and stick save Houck, but Martin right there again, and he puts it in the back of the net. On the rebound, just like that, it's 3-1. Seth Martin with a goal. His first of the season. The senior for the Arcs puts Rush up 3-1 with 3 quick goals here in the second period. Face off at center ice once again. That's the old adage, you throw the puck at the goal and good things happen, and it just did right there for Seth Martin for Brush. Meanwhile, back under live action, the Royals trying to enter the offensive zone. They do. Shot kicked aside. That was Chloe Polanski pushing it toward the goal for CVCA. But out come the Arcs once again. Alexander, poke checked away in neutral ice. Polanski tries to make it through center ice, cannot. Heideck chases. Nichols there for CVCA, pushes it deep and back behind the end line. They again wave off the icing. It may have been tipped or deflected, so Brush will have to build it on out. On and off the stick of Aiden Weiss, where Mark Mosher picks up the puck for CVCA, and he'll head up ice for the Royals. Into the offensive zone, Mosher, stick handles. He's going to get a chance. Fires to the crease, rebound, just missed and fanned on by 17. Zach Nichols with a slap shot over the net. Great opportunity there for Harrison Koselik, and Mosher pushes it in deep again. Once again, it goes all the way around the boards to Nichols, who pushes it toward the net. It's knocked down, and Matthew Porter's after it in the far corner. A good shift for the Royals. Up high, Nichols has it, fires, and a nice save by Sean Miller, and Zach Nichols looking for his first goal. 7 minutes, 59 seconds to go, second period action. Arcs 3, Royals 1. The Arcs exploding for 3 goals here in the second period. 2 by Ben Heideck and 1 by Seth Martin. Face off into the far corner, pushed back up to the point. Nichols has it. Nichols fires just wide of the goal and knocks up high and into the netting, and we'll get another stoppage, another face off, likely to the right of junior goaltender Sean Miller. Matthew Porter will take it for CVCA. Controlled by the Arcs. Cross ice off the boards, but kept in by CVCA's Petchke, who fires in, deflected. After it is 15 for the Royals. That's Tyler Young. He gets dumped, but goes up to Zach Nichols, who stick handles and fires. Kicked aside, blocker save by Miller. Push back forward, but up and finally out. Heideck has it. Heideck skating. He's got to beat Petchke. Stops onto his forehand. Fires near side wide. It comes back to one of the Arcs, but overskates it, and out with it comes Young, but he's dispossessed. It's poked back in behind the goal, where Zach Nichols will come out with it for the Royals. Nichols skates up ice. Poke checked away by Heideck, who'll dispossess Nichols, and Heideck goes the other direction. Heideck onto his forehand. Fires. Stick save by Houck into the far corner. The Royals, do they clear the zone? Yes, they do. It's offside. A nice attempt by number 2. Check that, number 3, Seth Martin, who got the third goal for the Arcs, but he just could not quite keep that puck from exiting the zone, and we'll have a face-off with 7 minutes and 1 second to go just outside the CVCA defensive zone on the near side. In to take it for the Arcs is Cameron Stovall. It's controlled back to number 3, Seth Martin, who gains the zone. Martin fires. Blocker save for Hauk. Swept aside by CVCA, up and out into the neutral zone, where it comes to Isaac Alexander. He pushes it forward, and icing is waved off where Petchke will be on it for CVCA. Up and out off a skate of one of the Arcs. Alexander controls. Backpedaling behind his end line. Waits. Has some pressure. Skates to the near side. Alex Frazier. Some token pressure. She looks up, cross ice, and out all the way down to Mark Mosher. 9-9, continuing that passing game to each other. Mark Mosher skates into the offensive zone with some speed. Fires another nice save into the breadbasket of Sean Miller. 6:09 to go, second period. Brush 3, CVCA 1. A face-off to the right of Miller. Porter takes a dive into the far corner. With it, or after it, is Tyler Young. Poked up but not out, kept in by Petchke. Petchke looks, fires toward the goal. It's kicked to the near boards in the near corner. And pushed up but not out where Mosher controls. He fires wide of the net. On the other side is Young, who chases. Young pirouettes, still battles. And he wins the battle for the puck. Poke checked away. Koselik pushes it farther in deep. Now knocked to the near boards by one of the Arcs. Up to the point. Mosher fires, deflected into the corner. Off the stick of Porter. With it again is Young. Young now trades with Petchke, who fires on the net. Up and kicked aside. Back is Porter. Porter checks one of the Arcs. It comes to the near side. The Royals with some pressure. Up, still not out. Petchke keeps it in. Petchke skates in, fires back toward the net. Kicked out by number 9, Alexander. Kept in by Mosher. Reaching for it is Koselik. Koselik to the near corner. Royals still with the offensive zone pressure. Overskating it is Porter, and finally up but not out, and finally cleared. Offsides is CVCA's Tyler Young. Tried to keep that in. A good pressuring shift for the Royals, but nothing to show for it on the scoreboard. 4 minutes and 50 seconds to go. Second period, the score remains. The Brush Arcs 3, the Royals 1. Face-off just outside the Royals zone, just underneath our vantage point. Face-off is pushed in by the Royals. David Krieger, but right back out. It's sent by the Arcs, and here comes Heidick. Heidick dispossessed at the blue line, and Mark Mosher has it. Up into the offensive zone it comes. Chloe Polanski fires. It's kicked into the near corner where Mosher skates after it for the Royals. Mosher around the boards, far side. It's got a funny bounce off these boards, and it comes to the stick of one of the Brush Arcs, who knocks it all the way down the ice for an icing with 4 minutes and 22 seconds to go. Senior Seth Martin, directing the defense for the Brush Arcs, decided he'd take the face-off and get a little bit of rest. So face-off to the right of Sean Miller. Face-off is controlled by the Arcs, up to the left point but not out. Nichols has it on the forehand, fires, it's kicked aside. Mosher battles to keep it in, but it's knocked out by Heideck, where Zach Nichols will be back to retrieve it for CVCA. Clock winding down near 4 minutes. Nichols pokes it up, but to no one in particular, and Isaac Alexander's on it for the Brush Arcs behind his own end line. Alexander up off the stick of Cameron Stovall, where Mark Mosher behind the back to Nichols. Nichols waits, looks, pushes it forward, was looking for Frazier. She missed it. Down the ice it goes, but they wave off icing, and so the Arcs will have to push it up, and Mosher tries to keep it in, but cannot. It's off his stick. It stops at center ice, and Mosher pushes it back in deep, where Alexander is on it. 3.5 minutes to go, second period. Alexander pressured by David Krieger. Up the ice, and Nichols is not there on the blue line to keep it in. He'll shoot it back in off the stick of one of the Arcs in front of the goal, but now controlled up and out, where it will fall to the stick of Mark Mosher. Mosher off the boards. No one there. Heideck comes up with it. Heideck, nice fancy move. Trying to get himself open. Fires, shoots, stick save. Nice save by Karsten Hauk. A little bit lazy on the defense for the Royals, and it gave Heideck another opportunity. Here it comes, another deflected shot, goes to the near side. Skating after it with some speed is number 7. That's Cameron Stovall. We've called his name a bunch of times today. Up, still not out. Here's Martin, fires, and a save by Hauk. Got it between the blockers before Seth Martin could find his second goal of the period and of the day. The score remains Brush 3, CVCA 1. Face off to up and out. And so retreating is number 3, Martin. He leaves it for Heideck, who's got it on his stick, kicks it back to himself, pushes it in deep just beyond the red line, and chases. Mark Mosher's there. Heideck will greet him. Mosher pushes it up, but kept in by Martin, who fires, and a ricochet, which Mosher sweeps up and pushes to the near side. Still not out. Martin, nice move to evade. Kostelik to the center. Royals get out, and a breakaway opportunity. 2-on-0. Matthew Porter to Zach Nichols. Actually, it wasn't Nichols, it was 15, who missed the net. Tyler Young with a chance, and it's iced down as Matthew Porter and Tyler Young tried to connect. Young got it on his stick, but just missed the goal. And Sean Miller breathed a sigh of relief as he did not have to defend that one, as it missed the target altogether. 2 minutes, 2 seconds to go. Face-off after the icing to the right of Miller. Arc still retaining that 3-1 lead. Puck is dropped down. Krieger pushes it in deep. Alexander up high. Puck is stopped. Kept in. Zach Nichols stick handles to the center. He's poke-checked away. And Josh Petchke will dump it back in for the Royals, who have to get back on side. They do. And it's pushed further in deep, but then controlled by Martin. Martin with some speed into the offensive zone. Backhanded pass, but doesn't find the intended target. The Royals try and clear, but Heideck now has another chance. Heideck with a rebound, shot just outside the net by a teammate. What a great opportunity for the Arcs. They still control it in the offensive zone. Centering pass kicked up to a player without a stick, pushed to the near boards. And a centering chance. The player without the stick was Aiden Weiss, up to the right point, fired by Martin, knocked down by Krieger, who pushes it up and out as the Royals evade some danger with less than a minute to go, 55 seconds. Retrieved down by Isaac Alexander, who tries to start out for the Arcs. Royals get a change. Matthew Porter in to meet him at center ice. It's pushed in by 22. That's Weiss, and then knocked out. Here comes Porter. Porter into the offensive zone. Nice pass, looking for Young again, trying to connect. Young can't stop before the boards. Back there to get it is Kostelik. Kostelik battles, and Heideck comes out with it with 30 seconds left. Heideck heads up ice. Porter, a stick up high. Could have been a high sticking, not called. Into the offensive zone, and it'll go the other way now as the Royals try to come out with it with 19 seconds left. Shot, save, and covered by Martin. Some good activity by some of the young CVCA Royals, as Tyler Young on that last shot has had a trio of opportunities here in the last couple of minutes as they try and solve the junior goaltender for the Brush Arcs. 13.8 seconds to go in the second period. The faceoff will be to the left of Sean Miller. Matthew Porter will take it, the freshman for CVCA. Centers it. It comes up to Mosher. Mosher skates, fires, just to the right of the goaltender and out of the outstretched reach of 17 for CVCA Kostelik. Back down, one more chance for the Arcs, near side boards, but time is going to run out. And we've reached the end of 2 periods of play from the Kostel Rec Center. A very good period if you are a fan of the Brush Arcs. 2 goals by Ben Heideck and a third by Seth Martin has the Arcs on top of this one at the end of 2 by a score of 3-1. As we catch our breath and get the statistics tallied up. End-to-end action in that second period. Both teams getting what they want out of this game so far, a competitive contest. The Arcs looking for their first win of the season. The Royals trying to get a win, playing their freshman and sophomore players so far through 2 periods. Statistics through the second period. The Royals 21 shots on Sean Miller in that second period, a 2-period total of 35. Miller with 34 saves through 2 periods. Brush, 19 shots on goal in the second period on CVCA's Karsten Hauk. Add that to the 19 they had in the first period on Hauk, and they've got a 2-period total of 38 shots on goal. Again, goals in that second period. Ben Heideck got the Arcs even with a goal on a rebound just 3 minutes and 29 seconds into the period. It was his 6th goal of the season, and the score was 1-1. The assist went to number 9, Isaac Alexander, who shot it in from the blue line, and Heideck was there to punch it back in on the rebound. 1-1 was the score. It took just 14 seconds for Heideck to score again, and score he did when he beat Karsten Hauk at 3 minutes and 33 seconds of the second period to put Brush up 2-1. Shortly thereafter, the Arcs extended that lead to 3-1 when Seth Martin got his first goal of the season at 5 minutes and 25 seconds of the second period. That's where we stand. Face-offs being controlled primarily by the Arcs now. They've won 13 face-offs through the contest. CVCA has won 9. Once again, we're glad that you found us today to watch CVCA Royals hockey on the Boxcast platforms, as well as on the CVCA Athletics Facebook page, where this is being simulcast, as well as on YouTube on the CVCA Athletics Boosters page. For information on all CVCA Athletics, you can make sure to tune or to dial your browser, direct your browser to the CVCA Athletics Facebook page or the CVCA Athletics internet site, which is at athletics.cvcaroyals.org, I believe, if I am correct in my memory. That will certainly get you to a place where you can find more information about CVCA and about the school in general. The school website is www.cvcaroyals.org. Looking back at the week that was in CVCA Athletics, it was a quiet week this week between Christmas and New Year's, outside of the hockey action that was fast and furious here at the Kostel Rec Center. But some of the teams were in action at the varsity level. On Tuesday, the CVCA wrestling team wrestled at the Spartan Holiday Invitational, and it looks like Kyle Snyder won the whole thing in the 220-pound weight category. Not too surprising. Snyder, a wrestler who also doubles as CVCA's starting running back on the football team, with great success on the mat. And the Royals also having some strong success on the wrestling mat this week at the Spartan Invitational that took place on Tuesday morning. We already chronicled the CVCA Royals actions in their own holiday tournament this week that happened at the Kostel Rec Center. A win on Tuesday morning against Lakewood, and losses against Normandy 5-3 Tuesday evening. Orange 3-2 on Wednesday morning, and then again against Lakewood 7-1 on Wednesday afternoon. Girls basketball was in action on Wednesday night. They had a home contest against the Triway Titans, I believe, if I recall Triway correctly. The Titans, a fellow member of the Principals Athletic Conference, or the Pac-7 as it's better known. And the CVCA girls basketball team picking up a victory on Wednesday evening, the 30th, by a final score of 52-30. That same girls basketball team is in action this afternoon. And as I look over at my friends up here that are helping us keep score and keep the shots on record, what time we got here on the actual clock? 1:21. So that girls basketball game kicks off in 9 minutes at CVCA when the CVCA Royals take on Brunswick at 1:30 at Tim Byerly Gymnasium on the campus of Cuyahoga Valley Christian Academy. Tonight, the boys basketball team is on the road for a matchup against the Nordonia Knights. That game to take place at 7:30 p.m. If you have interest in any of those games, make sure to follow the Royals Twitter account at CVCA Athletics, and you typically can find live stream information both home and away for all CVCA Athletics events at CVCA Athletics. That is the CVCA Royals Twitter account. That information is also usually posted on the CVCA Athletics Facebook page as well. You can follow information about most CVCA events that are live streamed by yours truly on the at CVCA Livestream Twitter account. And so make sure to look that one up and follow at CVCA Livestream for more information on various CVCA athletics events as well. So that's the look back and the look at the rest of the schedule today as we look ahead to next week once school resumes once again. Swim team is back in action at Independence on Tuesday the 5th at a meet at 4:30 in the afternoon. Next week on Thursday, the girls basketball game was scheduled to have a game at home against Lutheran East, but it looks like that game has been postponed at this stage, so the girls will get an extra layoff. Boys basketball is back in action after today's game with a game at home on Friday night at Byerly Gymnasium at CVCA at 7 o'clock against those Tri-Way Titans. Girls basketball will resume action next week at home on Saturday afternoon at 1:30 against the Mustangs from Tuslaw. And the next hockey game for these CVCA Royals is next Saturday afternoon here at home against NDCL. Looking ahead at future CVCA hockey schedules, we just mentioned that the Royals are home next week Saturday for a 3 p.m. face-off against the NDCL Lions. The following week on Tuesday, January 12th, it's a rematch for the third time this season against the Invaders from Normandy. This game will be at Normandy. Face-off time on Tuesday, January 12th is 7 p.m. And then on Friday, January 15th, the Royals will travel to the Pond and get their first look at Chagrin Falls this year. The Tigers from Chagrin Falls have been off on a COVID hiatus. We get the horn in our background. Mentioned again, the Chagrin Falls Tigers have been off on a COVID hiatus for the duration, or at least the start of the 2020-21 season. I believe that COVID stoppage was going to be reassessed on or about the 1st of January. I've not seen anything about that yet, but we do expect the Chagrin Falls Tigers to resume action. They are one of the top teams in the Blue North Division, and so that should be a tough test once it does happen, if in fact it does happen on Friday night, January 15th. We're winding down to the end of the second intermission period here from the Dan Kostel Rec Center. Just 35 seconds left before the clock winds out, and they put the 15 minutes back up on the clock to get us underway here in the third period. Into the arena, the Brush Arcs have come first. And behind them, the Royals. The locker rooms here at the Kostel Rec Center are off the lobby area, so both teams have to transit through the lobby, which would normally be teeming with fans of both teams, but obviously that is not happening this year in 2020-21. So they make their way through that empty lobby area and into the various boxes and benches area in the ice arena. This arena has a long and storied history. We learned this week that it once was an outdoor rink that was enclosed, we assume sometime in the late 70s, maybe early 80s. It does have some nice overhead lighting for visibility and sight lines. And when we talked to CVCA Athletic Director John Young this week, if you caught any of the Christmas tournament broadcast, as he did mention when CVCA was displaced out of the Kent State University ice arena this season, about a week before the season was scheduled to start, the scramble ensued to find a new home away from home. And we're looking down at a sheet of ice and 2 goals, and that fit the bill. So this is what we're calling home for the Royals this season, the Kostel Rec Center. Third period action underway, and the Royals need to get a couple of goals to tie this match up. They control the opening faceoff, and into the offensive zone they go. The Royals in their all blacks today. Black shells, royal blue striping and piping, black jerseys and white numerals, royal blue helmets. Going from right to left here in this third period. The Arcs, it appears, with their black shells, the brush yellow piping, white jerseys with yellow and brown stripes, and brown numerals with yellow piping around those numerals, and white helmets going from left to right. The Arcs lead at 3-1. Third period action for CVCA, and Brush Mark Mosher with some wheels, motors into the offensive zone, but Harrison Koselik was camping out and offsides, and so the faceoff will come outside the offensive zone for CVCA, with the Arcs leading 3-1. CVCA goal by number 9 Mark Mosher in the first period. Ben Heidick with a pair of goals. Numbers 6 and 7 on the season for the Arcs. Sophomore who pushes it deep into his own end. Seth Martin with a third goal for Brush. Heidick punches that toward the goal. It pops straight up and calls down into the glove of CVCA goaltender Karsten Auk for a stoppage at 13:59 of the third period. Face off to the left of Hauk. Heidick will take it for the Arcs. He wins it back to the point. Martin fires. It's knocked out by Matthew Porter for CVCA. Comes back down, and here comes Heidick one-on-one. Fires, and a glove save knocked to the near side by Hauk. Comes back to Heidick, who fires through the crease. Misses the goal, but controlled by Martin. Martin pushes it further in. He doesn't get to the goal. Knocked down, and the Royals try and clear, and now they do. Push back in, delayed offsides for the Arcs. They finally clear the zone, and the Royals come out with it. Mosher, poke checked, tries to control, cannot. It's pushed down the ice, knocked into the zone by Hauk, and the referee misses that deflection and calls icing. That was a good deflection by my eye and view here, but nevertheless, they will bring the puck all the way down the ice for a face-off to the right of Brush goaltender Sean Miller. Both goaltenders have been busy. Miller with 37 saves through the first 2 periods. Just one has beaten the junior goaltender. CVCA wins that face-off, pushed toward the goal by Alex Frazier, but now cleared out, and the other direction comes the Arcs. With it, Martin punches it in deep. Skating after it is number 7, Cameron Stovall. He can't get to it. Chloe Polanski pushes it up, not out, but a couple of Arcs bump into each other. It's knocked back in where Josh Petchke will chase after it for CVCA and retreat behind his own goal. Pushes it up, not out, kept in by one of the Arcs on the left point. And now Polanski clears the puck for CVCA. Pushing it forward, Heidick knocks it in. Petchke dumps it back out. And down it goes into the defensive zone to Seth Martin. Martin up ice looking for 7. That's Stovall, misses him, and Mosher, the goal scorer for the Royals, with the puck on his stick. With some speed into the offensive zone. Mosher on the left side fires over the goaltender Martin up into the netting for a stoppage of play at 12 minutes and 9 seconds to go here in the second period, rather the third period of play. They'll bring the faceoff all the way out of the zone, near side, on the faceoff dot just below our vantage point. Matthew Porter will take it for the Royals. Porter pushes it forward, not into the zone though. The teams battle. It's knocked in by the Royals and now kept in. Porter finds it on his stick. He's pushed down, fans on the shot, still down, tries to get up, cleared up and out by one of the Arcs. And Karsten Hauk will play it far side corner where Zach Nichols will retrieve it. Nichols maneuvers around one of the Arcs, but then loses the puck as he gets to the blue line. Push far side, he'll chase back, fans on it again. Matthew Porter there to rescue Zach Nichols. Porter pushes forward into the zone onside. He's got a pair of teammates who are looking, fires. Zach Nichols gets the puck falling to his skate. It's a save by Martin. And down the ice where Martin Mosher gets on his horse to retrieve it. Zach Nichols, a good chance from the slot there as the puck found him, and he fired it in on Martin, but who was up to the task. Here comes Mosher, and offsides is called. A little bit anxious on the far sides, it looks like may have been David Krieger. Stoppage with 11 minutes and 6 seconds to go here in the third period. Brush 3, CVCA 1. That faceoff is pushed to the far boards and then kicked back to Nichols. Nichols, who will enter the zone. Centers, no one there, far corner. Chasing after it is Cassie Martin, getting a shift. First time we've had a chance to call her name today, the junior. Royals. Mosher controls in the neutral zone. It's kicked back in off of Seth Martin and back to Sean Miller. Far side, the Arcs try and push it out. Isaac Alexander with it on his stick, pushes it forward, knocked up and out by Heideck. Nichols flying into the zone. Cannot control, and it's pushed back where Mosher has it for the Royals. Mosher. Back checked away by Heideck, dispossessed, and it meanders down the ice, does the puck. Centering, Nichols has it on his stick, fires up high, misses the net by a wide margin. To the far corner, or far boards rather, where Chloe Polanski has it. Polanski poke checked away by Heideck, and Nichols has it again. Nichols skates in, shoots wide of the net, and cleared up and out by the Arcs, where it will be icing against Brush, and a stoppage ensues with 9 minutes and 45 seconds to go here in the third period. Face off to the left of Sean Miller. Porter controls back to Nichols. Nichols has it, fires. Blocker save by Miller. Over to get it. A couple of players. Petchke comes up with it for CVCA, pushes toward Miller, knocked down in front of the net. Petchke cannot keep it in. Heideck chases him. But Petchke fights off Heideck, advances, and gets it back to Matthew Porter. Porter knocked down as he heads across the blue line. And the Arcs try and come out with it. They do. Heideck has it on his stick. Zach Nichols stands up Heideck. Petchke tries to come out, and Alexander returns the favor, and the Arcs dump it in deep where Zach Nichols skates to get it on the far corner. Nichols up, looks for Koselik, and it falls back into the far corner where Nichols pirouettes and retrieves. Around the far boards, near side, Tyler Young hands off to Josh Petchke, who skates forward. Petchke fires, kicked aside by Seth Martin into the near corner. Martin up. and not able to be kept in by CVCA's Tyler Young. Offsides is called, and a stoppage at 8:41. Royals send out a new line, and they'll say that it was intentionally offsides and bring the puck all the way down into the defensive zone for CVCA. A face-off to the left of Karsten Haug. Heideck punches it in right on Haug, who's there, and jumps on it for the save. He had to be alert on that one. Mosher through center ice, dispossessed. Now Heideck comes the other direction. He's got a man open on the far side, looks for him. That was Stovall. Couldn't get to him in time, and the Royals avert disaster there. Up comes Petchke now through the center ice neutral area into the offensive zone. Chloe Polanski, Petchke backhander, misses the net. The Arcs control. And they clear it, where Mosher is on it in the neutral zone. Retreats back and assesses the situation with 8 minutes to go. Mosher fires it in on goal. Kicked aside by Martin. Pushed back in deeper by Krieger, but then it's poked out, and Mosher has to reset. Mosher kicks it in deep off the skate of number 3, Seth Martin, into the far corner. Krieger gives chase. It's poked all the way up and down the ice for an icing at 7:31 to go here in the third period. Just about halfway through. Brush still 3. The Royals 1. This face-off will occur to the left of the junior goaltender, Sean Miller. It's pushed to 15. Young, who could not control, and poked out of the zone, where Zach Nichols sends it back in. Delayed offsides for the Royals, who have to clear the zone. They finally do. The Arcs take the time behind their net, where Alexander now tries to build out. He's up the far boards and out. The Royals will have to clear again. Nichols into the zone, into the slot. Nichols dispossessed, poked aside. Shot on goal, stick save, and having to sweep it out of harm's way is the defenseman, number 3, Martin. Nichols pushes it back in deep, but the Royals will have to change. Or chase, not change. Mosher intercepts, fires, kicked aside by Martin. Centering pass by 4. That was Matthew Porter. Could not find a Royal State. Now shot from the high point, goes wide. The Arcs clear once again, 6:20 to go. Mosher back into the offensive zone, fires wide of the goaltender Miller. Nichols has it. Nichols takes time, winds up, shoots off the face mask of Martin and up into the netting. Zach Nichols tried to get the Royals closer, but Sean Miller, apologies if I said Martin, Sean Miller's face mask prevented that opportunity from the stick of sophomore Zach Nichols for CVCA. The Royals digging for that second goal, and they still need another one after that to even this thing up. In on the face-off, David Krieger taking it for CVCA. And it looks like a timeout has been called by the Brush Arcs with 6 minutes and 10 seconds to go. Once again recapping, the Royals got on the board first today. 1-0 late in the first period when Mark Mosher scored his first goal of his career for CVCA. That's where it stood at the end of the first period, but Ben Heideck tied it up and then quickly put the Arcs back in front, or in front for the first time, a lead they have not relinquished. Just 3.5 minutes into the second period, Brush got a third goal by Seth Martin, the senior, and that's where we stand. Their third period has been scoreless. 6 minutes and 10 seconds to go. The Royals send out Krieger, Polanski, Alex Frazier, Mosher, and Zach Nichols in front of goaltender Karsten Hauk. For the Arcs, Cameron Stovall. Heideck will take the face-off. Isaac Alexander, Aiden Weiss, and one other as Mosher sends it in on goal, and another save and a huge rally cry from the Brush Arcs bench for their goaltender Miller, who stopped that shot from Mark Mosher. Face off again to his left. Puck is dropped down, and this one's controlled by Heideck. And it's played with a high stick by CVCA's Zach Nichols, so they'll take the face-off out of the offensive zone with 5 minutes and 56 seconds to go. Karsten Hauk for CVCA asking for a bit of help from the referee. A little bit of an equipment issue with his blockers, and he needs to make sure he's all set as this face-off is to his left. Just under 6 minutes to go. Pushed forward, not out, kept in by the Arcs. Kicked side by CVCA, pushed back in deep by number 3, that's Seth Martin. Centering opportunity, but Krieger clears it up, but not out. Martin has it again, fires it in, knocked down into the far side corner. Back after it is Mosher, pushes it up, but cannot control. Now it comes back to his stick, and Mosher with some speed through center ice. On the left side, Mosher stops, fires, stick save by Miller. The puck comes to Nichols. Nichols dispossessed, and here comes Heideck on a one-on-one breakaway opportunity. Heideck skates in, and he scores! A hat trick for Ben Heideck, and the Arcs are up 4-1. The Royals pressuring and pressuring some more all period, and that time Heideck found the puck on his stick. The defenseman had pinched in, and he was one-on-one with Karsten Hauk, and he knows how to score. That he did off the backhand. His third of the day, and Brush leads it 4-1. So the mountain even higher now for CVCA. With 5 minutes and 5 seconds to go here in the third period. Down the ice it goes, and icing is waved off. So back to get it is Isaac Alexander. But it comes back to CVCA. Matthew Porter tries to get on his forehand, and he's dispossessed, and the puck is kicked or punched down the ice by one of the Brush Arcs. It doesn't make the end line, so no icing, where Josh Petchke has to then retrieve and start out for the Royals. Petchke up ice. He's got Porter with him across the blue line. Fires. It's knocked down. Sticks go flying, and it sits there. And cleared out once again, and here comes Heideck, another breakaway. Can he score again? Heideck gets in there, and he's pushed aside, poke save, but it comes back to the stick of Heideck, who punches it in again. And Brush now running away with this one. It's 5-1, the fourth goal of the day for Ben Heideck. Four minutes, 26 seconds to go. So time of that goal, 10 minutes and 34 seconds for the sophomore from Brush. Off the face-off, the Arcs ice the puck down, and so they'll have a defensive zone face-off. But the Arcs sitting pretty, looking for their first win of the season. Up 5-1 here at the Dan Kostel Rec Center. Puck controlled back to the high slot. Mosher tries to shoot, it's knocked down. Now he circles back to the right point, fires. Rebound is gobbled up by goaltender Sean Miller. 4 minutes, 9 seconds to go. Again, the face-off won by the Royals. Mosher pushes it in. It does not get all the way to goaltender Miller before it's kicked back out all the way down the ice. Mosher retrieves. And we'll have to start it again. 3 minutes, 55 seconds to go in the hockey game. Mosher skates around a couple of players. To his right, fires wide of the goal. Up but not out. Petchke keeps it in, fires on goal. Doesn't get there. Knocked aside by one of the defensemen. That looks like Miller. Rather Martin, Seth Martin for the Arcs. So Petchke retrieves again. And he'll start out the rush for CVCA. Petchke into the offensive zone, pushed aside by 22. That's Weiss. Recovers his own loose puck. Finds Mosher. Mosher fires it in. It's kicked aside by Alexander into the far corner. Pushed up high where Mosher keeps it back in. Punches it in deep. Krieger tries to get it toward the goal. It goes behind. Near side boards. Chloe Polanski tries to control. She does. Polanski has it and gets it across ice to Frazier, who pushes it in further, but now controlled by Brush once again. Petchke intercepts at center ice and pushes it back in deep for CVCA with 2 minutes and 50 seconds to go. The Royals get a change and the Arcs begin the rush out. Fired wide of the net by Isaac Alexander, where the Royals will have to retrieve. And now Zach Nichols looks to find a long pass on the blade of Matthew Porter. Porter can't control, but the Royals keep it in. Nichols has it once again. Skates, fires, looks for Porter. It's off his stick into the far corner. Porter retrieves it, has it, skates in. A sharp angle shot through the crease to the near side. Kept in by Petchke, who dumps it in deep. But down there to get it for Brush is Seth Martin. Martin has it, pressured, but skates to the center and tries to skate it out. He's got some open ice and will skate it out. Zach Nichols pushes him aside, but Martin still has it. Looks, fires wide. Around the boards it comes. Not able to keep it in. Back out to the neutral zone, but pushed back in deep. Icing is waved off, and Nichols will have to chase after. 1:46 to go in the hockey game. Zach Nichols for CVCA looks up. He finds the stick of 15. That's Tyler Young, but he's hip checked off the puck at center ice. And it's poked back out once again by the Arcs. Nichols back to retrieve for CVCA again. Skates around one player into the offensive zone, fires. It's kicked aside. Right point kept in by Petchke, 1:22. Petchke skates in deeper but cannot control. Nichols finds it on his skate again, fires, kicked aside by Miller into the far corner. The Royals still controlling, but the scoreboard controlled by the Brush Arcs with 1 minute 5 seconds to go. Brush 5, CVCA 1. Nichols tried to get it across to teammate Petchke, but it scooted outside of the zone, and Petchke could not keep it in. Offsides on the Royals with 57.4 seconds to go, and the Arcs 57 seconds away from win number 1 on the season. Face off outside the Royal zone. Knocked in by David Krieger, but Brush flips it back out past Mosher. Icing waved off with 48 seconds to go. Mosher will skate up ice. He's got 4 Royals to go with him, just 2 Brush Arcs back. But one of those is Isaac Alexander, who's pestering Mosher. Mosher still has it on his stick, finds the high slot. Petchke tries to fire in, and it's kicked aside. Mosher has it again. 25 seconds left. Centering pass. No one there. Poked up and not out. Petchke keeps it in. Petchke tries to stick handle and get some open space. Skates into the circle. Fires, saved by Miller with 12 seconds left. The 54th save of the day by Sean Miller. 55 shots CVCA has put up. Just 1 has beaten the junior goaltender. The puck is down, up to the high slot. Less than 10 seconds left to go. Fired in by Mosher, but kicked out now, and that's going to do it. The clock winds down, and there's the horn. Final score today, the Arcs 5 and the Royals 1. Out to meet his goaltender is Ben Heideck. He of the 4 goals meets Miller of the 54 saves. The Arcs victorious. The Royals out to greet their goaltender, Karsten Hauk, who played admirably in defeat today. Hauk faced 46 shots of his own. He made 43 saves. A great job today by both teams, but Brush skates away with the victory today. Once again, the final score, Brush 5 and CVCA 1. Star of the game, definitely the sophomore forward for Brush, Ben Heideck. 4 goals in the afternoon, up to 9 for the season. Seth Martin added a goal for Brush. The lone goal, the first of his career for CVCA sophomore defenseman Mark Mosher. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for joining us today. My name is Tim Nichols. For the Brush fans joining us, we wish you well in the rest of your season. For the Royals, next up is a week of practice and a game here at home next Saturday afternoon against the NDCL Lions, a rematch of a game the Royals won at the Pond earlier in December. That game will take place here at the Dan Kostel Rec Center at 3 p.m. Stay tuned to the CVCA Athletics Facebook page, the CVCA Athletics Twitter account, which is at CVCA Athletics, as well as at CVCA Livestream on Twitter for information on the upcoming live stream information of that hockey game. In the meantime, make sure to support other CVCA athletics. Again, the girls basketball team in action right now in a basketball game against Brunswick. You can find information on that live stream on the CVCA Athletics Facebook page. And then tonight, the boys basketball in action against Nordonia. After a very busy week of hockey, that'll do it from the Kostel Rec Center. We'll take a week off and be back with you next week, Saturday. Thanks, one and all, for watching this afternoon. Have a great rest of the weekend. For my colleague, Sean Mosher, and the rest of the folks who bring this to you, Tim Nichols signing off from Garfield Heights, Ohio. Have a great afternoon, everybody. Happy 2021. Oh, thank you guys so much.